welcome to the YouTube channel of the Nissan EV Owners Group. I'm Paul Eden. The new Leaf is here. Here it is. The first Leaf came to us in 2010 and the second generation in 2018 and was the world's best-selling electric car until 2020. Total worldwide sales are in excess of 700,000 units. This third generation car was designed in the UK and will be built in Sunderland. Order books are open in November 2025 and deliveries are expected in the spring of 2026. Is it a like-for-like replacement for the old car? It might well be. The trim levels go all the way up from quite basic to really funky. It's now a small SUV rather than a hatchback. This colour is called luminous teal. It's not unlike the sonic blue colour of the first gen launch car. This car is not quite as long as previous Leafs. It's 4,350mm in length. The old car is marginally taller than the new one, and the wheelbase has shrunk a little too. Key specifications: two battery sizes, 52 kWh and 75 kWh. The smaller battery gives between 220 and 270 miles of range, and the bigger battery is good for 340 to 375 miles of range, both depending on trim. The bigger battery has a bigger power output, though technically this is determined by the inverter. The 52 kWh can put out 174 bhp with a maximum torque of 345 Nm. The bigger 75 kWh battery is good for 214 bhp and 355 Nm. The bigger batteries get a heat pump as standard. There's 4 levels of trim at launch. Engage is the base trim, and then there's Engage Plus, Advance, and finally Evolve. Engage gets a smaller screen and 18-inch alloys. The 18-inch is standard across the range and they look fine. It's a lovely design referencing the Nissan pattern. More about that later. This fancy roof, its technical name is electrochromic glass, and the head-up display is only available on Advance. Engage, the base trim, gets smaller screens than the rest of the range. The V2L connector is standard on top Evolve trim. It's an option on the others. Battery chemistry. Leaf will use lithium-ion polymer electrolyte with NMC cathode and a graphite anode. These batteries don't represent a huge leap forward when compared to previous Nissan packs, but they are mature technology. Nissan plans to have in-house developed solid-state batteries in cars by 2028. The battery will have thermal management with a unique design that flows coolant under the pack while blocking the flow of air. In Europe, the car will use CCS2 charging. In Japan, it uses CHAdeMO, and in the US, NACS. There are 6 metallic colours, many of which can be had with a black roof. This is luminous teal, the launch colour. This is Sukumu blue, and never missing an opportunity to reference the volcano. This is Fuji sunset red. There's a black not pictured here, then there's pearl white, and there's 2 greys. This is ceramic, and this one is gunmetal. Nissan has prioritised efficiency in this car by improving aerodynamics. The previous Leaf had a 0.28 CD, while the new model achieves 0.26 in the US and Japan and 0.25 in Europe, thanks to unique wheels and door mirrors. Features like active grille shutter, flush door handles and a flat underfloor contribute to these improvements. Models with a glass roof are 12mm lower without reducing interior space, as the glass is thinner than metal. This car was designed and styled in the UK. While Aria showcases Japanese influences, Leaf reveals echoes of British automotive design. The sharply angled bonnet, the slim front wing, the way the wheels feel the wheel well, and the steeply sloped windscreen all contribute to its distinct character. There's a simplicity and lightness that emerges when function follows form. It's principles like these that have brought us E-Type, Esprit and Mini. While Jaguar and BMW appear to be abandoning their heritage, Nissan is accepting and indeed celebrating that their heritage lies, in part at least, in the UK. It's at the rear end of the car I want to start. In the run-up to the launch, Nissan didn't show any details of the back end of the car, and even when we saw it in camouflage testing, that part of the car was heavily disguised. We knew something was afoot. When you see the rear of the car, it's clear how resolved it is. Nothing feels out of place, there's no orphaned elements, yet there's room for unique and eye-catching touches. The rear lights have a funky 3D effect, although they're actually a simple 2D array. Note the engaged trim doesn't get the lights you see here. The black panel across the hatch seems to be a salute to the old Z cars. Now the boot doesn't get a logo anymore now. The Nissan word mark is widely spaced across that panel. The aggressively kicked up lit spoiler was revealed only recently, giving it a sporty look, and the camtail keeps the car compact. The boot capacity is 437 litres, and that's rather more than an all-wheel drive Aria. And there's some clever boot floor shenanigans. It can be lowered, set upright to compartmentalise the boot, and even turned over to present a wipe-clean surface. The rear door handles have moved into the C-pillar. I'm not sure I like this. It's often children who use this seat row, and they might find the handle is too high for them to reach. There's no rear wiper. Nissan will say Aerodynamics clean the glass. Manufacturers often say this, and it really does. Let's see the flanks of the car. There's some sensible surfacing going on here to break up the swathes of panel, but it never looks gimmicky. The B-pillar is quite far back, so much so that the driver is sitting behind them. This is an aspect of modern car design I don't like. It impairs lateral visibility and makes the car harder to get in and out of. It also encourages rear passengers to grab the headrest when they're getting in and out of the car, which is horrible for everyone. The front door handles are flush. I don't really have any reliability concerns here. This is a Nissan, not a Peugeot. They'll just work. The 18 and 19 inch wheels fill the wheel wells nicely. The 2-3 thing is seen on the 18 inches. The front suspension is McPherson strut and the rear is multi-link independent. It should ride nicely with this setup. On the front wing is the charge port, CCS2 of course, and the optional V2L adapter can go here too. Here's this logo element again. When I first saw this, I thought it was L and E, as in the first two letters of the word leaf. I was wrong. It's actually 2 and 3, which in Japanese is Nissan. Nissan. It's just wordplay. Their race cars often bear the number 23, and the rear light array is in this pattern too. There's a deep black side sill, a feature typically associated with larger cars. Maybe it's being used here to make it look bigger on the outside. It also gives the impression of a higher ride height. The front of the car continues to be distinctive. On most grade, a light bar spans the car's width, and European and British cars will have an illuminated Nissan logo. The sleek multi-element headlights have active matrix, a first for Nissan. Moving to the interior, the car continues to impress. There's nothing horrible here. The centre console doesn't quite meet the dashboard, so there's extra space on the floor. The drive selector moves to the middle lower part of the dash. It looks like thoughtless positioning to me, but there's probably no alternative. I'll get used to it. Above that is a little cluster with the hazard light switch, a rotary volume knob, yay, audio track controls and a camera button. Proper buttons, not horrible touch screens. Above that is a line of touch sensitives for the climate control. Yes, not real buttons, but at least they aren't on a screen. Then we're on to the two main screens. On all but the base model, these are twin 14.3 inch screens running the wonderful Google Auto. They look bright and sharp. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are both wireless here. There's a handful of the most used buttons on the two-spoke steering wheel, not unlike the current Qashqai's design. The driver's seat has Bose speakers built into the headrest, and all but the base model. These can relay sat-nav and phone output to the driver. Very cool. In fact, the entire cabin shows an attention to detail modern Nissans are known for. It's spacious even for tall users. The centre console has wireless phone charging, USB ports and cup holders. The car will use Nissan Connect Services app, which many owners will be familiar with. It can do all the usual stuff: climate preconditioning, remote route planning, battery status and charging. Navigation system Waze is built into the car. It's a very popular crowdsourced driver satellite navigation system. No other car at the time of recording this has this built in. Software and firmware updates will be over the air. Nissan's own driver assistance package called ProPilot is available. It's now quite mature and usable. E-pedal is here for one pedal driving too. Some like it, I'm not fussed. A heat pump is standard on the bigger battery and an option on the smaller. Is this an important car for Nissan? Well, yes, of course it is, but perhaps not as much as some think. It's got to make a profit. There's no point making a loss on a car, now so more than ever. But historically, Leaf has never been a big money maker. In the UK, that's always been down to Duke and Qashqai, and in the US, Leaf didn't turn a profit until 2018 with a second generation car. The car is considered significant by those, me included, who identify with the brand. Many EV owners began with a Leaf and report an emotional connection to the vehicle. This association may have value even if it does not result in actual sales. What Generation 3 does is raise the Leaf brand from a car that transformed the motoring universe while being a relatively humdrum hatchback to a mainstream vehicle that can hold its own in the congested marketplace. Its predecessors didn't have to battle. It's that good. There's genuine innovation here. It's refined, mature, unfussy, yet sleek, playful and accessible. If it comes in at less than £30,000, Nissan might just have the winner they so desperately need. Thank you for watching and listening. I hope you're as enthralled by this car as I am. I think it's fabulous. Please consider liking and subscribing this video and the channel. We do read all of your comments here on YouTube as well as on Twitter and Facebook. Thanks again. Goodbye.